由庄周、夫子、墨子三贤者所创立，以有无相生的观念培养了不少英雄。
比如说我，天才少年东方耀。
要通过入学考试呢，就得看你能拿出什么样的宝物啦。
First things first, by Tencent, the Chinese folks behind PUBG, no more than a few months ago, these folks announced a Souls-like open-world monster hunting beauty, like actually one of the most vibrant-looking projects right now going by Honor of Kings World. Now this is actually a crossover to another game by the company with the same name with like 100 million daily users, and that's basically kind of says it all when it comes to scale, and this is how the game actually looks like. Other than that, the only thing we do know is that this game is coming to all consoles and PCs possibly sometime next year.
破魔之剑，快上，就是现在！
居然还会这种！支持！风暴龙王怎么会出现在地下？快闪开！王者峡谷究竟发生了什么？
A question that I've been asking myself a few times now. What if From Software, folks who just made this entire Souls-like genre, by the way, Elden Ring is about to come out in a few weeks anyway, what if these folks made a Pinocchio game? Well, Lies of P, which is a Souls-like action RPG starring Pinocchio, is gonna answer that precisely. Unfortunately, Lies of P over here doesn't have a release date yet, but we do know it'll be released on the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S and PCs sometime next year. Check it out. On the other hand, we have Bleak Faith Forsaken. This is one of the longest awaited Souls-likes in the making. I've actually been really patient to get a taste of the action on this one for so long, to be honest. The good news is that you can actually find Bleak Faith Forsaken on its official website and Steam, where it says it'll be released onto PCs in the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One in only a few months from now. This game is an action Souls-like, open world, actually a lot like the not so distant Elden Ring. Check it out.
online multiplayer can also be enjoyed with players from other worlds, from cooperative to PvP and invasions.
Moving on, there is the one and only Elden Ring, of course. Probably the biggest in-scale game to be released this year. I mean, there's tons of open world games to be released this specific month, so we're gonna have to see about that. But actually, none of them really Souls-like. Elden Ring is, and it is set to come out February 25. Here is some more of its massive games showcasing. Is coming to basically all platforms except Switch.
We've come across a boss guarding this area. We'll take it on with the help of our co-op partner.
Black Myth Wukong, actually the biggest project in the making out of the whole eastern region now, when it comes to Souls-like action RPGs to be specific. One that has been actually cooking for years now, is now set and actually numerously rumored to be coming out mid to late 2023 and into the next generation consoles only. Other than that, we did actually get a recent update trailer through the developer's channel indicating development team actually nailing it. Yeah.
He is a proponent of a theory called animal magnetism.
He's capable of anything.
Steel Rising is, right now, one of the most anticipated Souls-likes of 2022. This game puts you in an alternative history of Paris in the year of 1789, where King Louis XVI has won this French Revolution war with an army of clockwork machines. One of which, named Aegis, will be you, and you'll basically have to stop this whole alternative nonsense. Check it out, Steel Rising is set to release in June this year on the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and also PCs via Steam.
In this place of ruin and monsters,
She is my protector.
Now, we have Solstice, that's on the way to PCs, the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S, later this year as well. An action-adventure, Dark Souls meet Devil May Cry, mishmash coming out of Modest Games. That is actually some crazy publishers who's been recently killing it with horror games. Check it out. Solstice, however, still requires a specific release date.
to stop it. We stand to face the darkness.
Now, Project Eve, on the other hand, one of the games I have tried to keep an eye out for, especially these last few months, a hack-and-slashing action-adventure by the Korean developers from all the way back almost 4 years ago, which is looking absolutely crazy now comparing to when it was actually revealed, has a release window rumored now set to be either late 2022 or early next year. That is it, and this is how the game actually looks like on the PlayStation 5.
지하 시설, 방공호 같은 건가?
여긴 지하철역이야. 사람들을 태우고 거미줄처럼 도시를 누비던 교통수단이지. 뭐 다 지난 얘기지만 말이야. 잠깐 네이티브가 시체에 기생하고 있다니. 매복이야! 그날 이후 지성의 도시들은 모두 예비처럼 폐허가 됐어. 잘나신 분들은 우주로 달아나고 나가는 놈들은 이곳에 버려졌지.
You've made it so far into the video, you might as well keep an eye out for a Rise of Awakener, if you enjoy Souls-like, specifically the likes of Dragon's Dogma. Because this is basically DD, it's an action RPG and one with a fast-paced hack-and-slash elements. We'll have different classes to choose from, like Mage, Warrior, Rangers, you name it. A Rise of Awakener, which was announced a few months ago, now has a release window of 2023 for PCs and the PlayStation consoles only. Faith of Van Shant, though hereafter, doesn't really have a release date now, but it is confirmed to be releasing on the PCs and the consoles, both generations, possibly sometime in the spring this year. Now, the game itself is an action RPG inspired by Chinese mythology, also the sequel to 2017's Fate of Dan Shant, and this is what they actually came up with just a bit earlier in terms of its gameplay.
Hey, I can still fight on. Great, you're here.
Dad! Wait, please don't be mad at me. I just came to bring this to you.
On the other hand, we have Project Erath, or Urgath, which is a single-player action RPG, but a combat-focused kind of Souls, so it's pretty Dark Souls-y. Actually came to me as a surprise, as I was looking out for new games, and I gotta admit, it's actually not a bad-looking game either. Interestingly, it's even releasing in only a couple of months from now, and into PCs only. Here are these, you can also wishlist the game on Steam right now.
Your mission is to go to the mining station in Revion Prime.
I think a few of you here must be already familiar with Dolmen. That's a science fiction-based action RPG with elements of a horror game, I would say Dead Space to be specific. Weirdly enough, it's also touted as a Souls-like game. We do know Dolmen's been in the works for more than 3 years now, but a few months ago only, we finally got a release window of 2022, and to accompany that, folks behind the game also came out with a new trailer. Check it out. Team 17 actually no more than a month ago came up with this announcement that Thymesia, which was actually set to hit the market December 2021, is now postponed to sometime in 2022 and into the PCs, the PlayStation 5 and also the Xbox Series X. So it's a next generation console game only. To accompany that news, in case you are wondering, they also released another trailer. Other than that, this game's an action RPG as well, one that's set in a world infested with plague. It actually looks awesome. Check it out. Chrono Odyssey, which is actually targeting mobile devices and platforms in addition to PCs, of course. On the other hand, an MMORPG at heart, one that actually comes in Souls-like portions by the good Korean developers, which was actually set to be coming out in 2022, is now postponed to an unspecified date in 2023. Check it out. In terms of gameplay or story, this is the sole teaser developers did came up with when Chrono Odyssey was revealed last year.
Ancient secrets lie to the groundwork of our tragedy.
Moving on, there's Project Galileo. What's touted by its developers page is an alternative take on the Souls-like formula where you will have to shape history the way it is meant to be shaped. Does that ring any bell? Yes. Assassin's Creed, of course, but with Souls-like elements. Now, this is only a concept trailer the developers did come up with when this whole thing was revealed, and release date for it is also yet to be given. Project M is specifically one of the Souls-like that I have been looking forward to hear more about lately, since it's been really well received because of the way it actually looks like. But regardless of all the hype, there has been no actual update. We do know this game is coming to both consoles and PCs. It is being developed by Hound 13th, which is a South Korean studio who described this game as a Souls-like action RPG at heart, but that is it. A release window for this game is also yet to be announced. Project Relic is currently slated to release early next year, so there is a lot of time for folks behind this game to fine-tune this one to almost perfection. I've actually mentioned this one earlier. What this game is, for those of you unfamiliar, however, is a Souls-like, of course, multiplayer at heart by South Korean developer again, going by Project Cloud Games. It's actually not a bad-looking game at all, and well, we know it's coming to both PCs and consoles in both generation, and this is actually how the game looks like. And last but not least, y'all, there is Wuchang Fallen Feathers, an action RPG in the making that started development around 5 to 6 months ago, heavily inspired by Bloodborne and Sekiro Shadows Die Twice games. A release date for Wuchang is yet to be announced, but we do know it's a next generation console game only in addition to PCs. Now check it out. The game might look a bit too rough around the edges now, but it's actually really early in development.